Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are now sitting here post Ascent Chicago. I returned back Sunday. It's now Monday. I'm recording this, and yeah, so the results were you could sort of guess. Yeah, the Ascent did not go well, and you're going to see sort of why here in a second. Yep, I ended up not making day two. Why this has now been shaved. I set a personal goal for myself is that this event was if I didn't make day two, the beard was going to go pretty trimmed back to clean status, I guess I should say. And yeah, I didn't make day two. I went 03 dropped. Don't ignore what Ascent link says. It says I went 06. No, they forgot to drop me after round three, even though I circled on the paper I wanted to go 03. I circled drop, handed it in. Didn't happen, whatever. I've already made my grievances with how I lost Elo because of losing technically an extra 3 rounds. It's not the first time this has happened. But yes, though the event didn't go too well for myself. Ended up, I'll make a deck tech video later on this. I ended up bringing a Rye deck. I think I had a pretty good read in the meta. I built a lot heavily for the Slimes matchup, which Slimes ended up being a heavy part of the meta for the event. And I didn't face any Slimes. I went round one started for the event. We ended up having a repair. I was like, all right, of course. I don't want to be a big event without a repair. It's normal, happens in TCGs all the time. Had the repair, sat there for my opponent, shake hands, flips over wind. I'm like, okay, so we were in Tristan, maybe. Lurking Sailor. Crap. It's Wind Allies. Wind Allies game one. I look at my opening hand, and there is like arcane cards, a Creative Shock, and not really much else. Nothing that no Resurrection Zone, Vanish from Sights, no Peace Reunion. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a long match. It was already awkward because I don't know if those who've seen aware may posted I cut my thumb open Thursday night before I ended up flying out to Chicago, but we'll get into that toward near the end. And our opponent just started playing allies. I had nothing to do, just pretty much lost the game quickly. And I'm sitting there shuffling up for game two. I look to my left, there's Tristan versus Slimes. Look to my right, Slime versus Slimes. Look at the end of the table, Slimes versus Tristan. I'm just like, how do I avoid the Slimes that I tech for and get the very low high count of Wind Allies in the whole event? So I end up facing that. Game two, blowout. Game two for me. End up hitting Vanish from Sight, Resolute Stand, Creative Shocks, Increasing Dangers, drew a bunch of cards, Arcane. Opponent was filling the board a little bit, hit my turn, Purge and Flames off the top of my deck, Purge and Flames the board, next turn, boom, 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 Arcane Blast, Fireball. Game, pretty easy. Round number three, I ended game number three. Once again, drew Vanish from Sight, play Vanish, play Resistance, sort of getting there. I filter, dig through my deck. All I need to do is buy one more turn. I had about like 10 cards in my influence at this point. And I said, okay, all I need is Purge of Flames. I need something to clear the board. I ended up playing Increasing Danger. Purge of Flames goes into my memory. I go, God damn it. So I look, no Vanish from Sights off a couple more draws. And opponent ended up winning the game. It was just a complete blowout. But yeah, started 0-1. Ended up talking to my teammates, talking to them. 1-0s, another teammate's own one. Sort of a rough event. My teammate Bob was playing Erupting, ended up facing one of the few Nullifying Lanterns who ran at main deck and got Nullifying Lanterned early. And then I had another teammate on Slimes. They started off 1-0, and another player playing Wind Allies on our team. Not Wind Allies, Wind Diana on our team, which I might do a deck tech video on that one later on as well on the channel to go over that list and have Brightwing on the channel to discuss it. But ended up facing into Wind Allies as well for his repair. Ended up facing Violet, who's a really good Wind Allies player, and he just a rough start for the team. Going to round two. Round two starts, sit down for my opponent, shake hands, win Tristan. I'm like, okay, this matchup is playable. All right, this matchup is absolutely playable. There's some outs I have, there's several gameplays I have. Probably one of the worst matchups I can ask for in this event. But, we'll make it work. Sit down, draw my opening hand. Just the nuts. Absolute nuts. Had Increasing Danger turn one, Creative Shocks, had Dungeon Guide into Dungeon Guide with Arcane Blast in the hand as well as Arcane Dispositions. I just went off. I just pretty much boom, boom, boom. Leveled up to level 2 with Dungeon Guide. Played my unit, Dungeon Guide to level 3 again off top because opponent didn't have Stifling Drop in hand. Ended up banishing 8 Arcane cards away. Had 8 hit Careful Study, drew extra like 6 cards, and then Arcane Blast. My opponent was still like barely hitting level 2 on their turn 3. It's like, yeah, that was just nuts. I mean, nothing they could have done. And then game two went a little rough. Game two went a little bit rougher. The opponent ended up hitting the Ascent Protectors. Went a little more of an aggro game plan. Played Ascent Protector. Played a couple of allies on board. I'm like, okay. I ended up accidentally sideboarding out a little bit of the whatchamacallit, Peace Reunions. I kept Phantom Sight in there, kept a couple Resolute Stands in the list, but didn't see any of them. And opponent just Aggro beat me down. Then I'm doing the thing with Shadow Strike, Crazy Outlook. Nothing I could do. Game 3 ended up coming around. Played game 3. It was close. There was a chance where I could have, if I played my cards right near the end, where I had Erratic Bolt or Cane Blast Fireball and a couple of the cards in hand, I miscounted because shuffling through my, like, I hand shuffle, like, for those who don't know what hand shuffling is for some reason. It's pretty much like, flicking cards in your hand like this rapidly. And I had like a big wrap on my thumb. It was just horrendous to even try and play with it. And I couldn't hand shuffle, I couldn't concentrate. And I was like, okay, I might have Leaf Flower, Cane Blast Fireball, Erratic Bolt resolves, banish 2 for my Arcane, banish 2 for my memory, and then draw 2 cards. I showed off the Fireball, Arcane Blast, and I did my math wrong. I was only level 10, I wasn't level 11, so I couldn't Arcane Blast for free, and I ended up being 1 card short from comboing, and just ended up losing me the game. Granted, they said they had Veiling Breeze and such already sideboarded in for the game, or already in the hand, so there wasn't too much I could have done about it. But, it is what it is. Chalked up as a loss, talked to my teammates. Bob ended up going 0-2. Windan, I think, ended up was 1-1, and Zach was 2-0 at that point on Slimes. And Tyga, I think, was also 2-0 on Win Tristan. Go into round number 3. Sit down, another win now, I spoil. I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. Game 1 wasn't too bad. I think game 1 I won. Just opponent didn't have the nuts. I just drew, hit the Arcane Blast, everything I needed to by turn 3 because I went first. Perfect. Game 2, they had ally board clear. I never saw any of my Resolute Stands. Didn't see a Phantom Sight. Didn't see a Peaceful Reunion. And the opponent just played allies and just swung big with a big board with Automatons. The Automaton hybrid win ally list. So we sat there and I went, all right, that's a little bit brutal. Let's go into game number 3. Game number 3, man, I low rolled. I mean, I should have played this more aggressively. Pretty much same situation that we were dealing with. It's back and forth, back and forth. And then Purge Flames. But I did math. My opponent didn't go Safeguard Amulet on their turn. They said to go GCR. And because I'm going Safeguard Amulet, I had a chance to kill them. I had, I think, like 6 or 7 cards in hand. I was able to put 4 down for a Rack Bolt. All Arcane cards. One of them being my Arcane Blast. I had another in hand and a Fireball in hand. And instead of taking the gamble of putting the Fireball down instead of the second Arcane Blast, thinking I was going to hit. I don't want to, if I, pretty much the situation like this. Put 4 down, Arcane Blast, 2 in hand. Or 3 in hand, sorry. Arcane Blast, put 4 Arcane down. And if I get the Laurel and hit the 25% chance of hitting the Fireball, I don't become level 10. I can't back-to-back Arcane Blast, couldn't win the game. Instead, I took the safe, quote-unquote safe route. I decided to put Arcane Blast, put all Arcane cards down, leaving 1 Arcane Blast in hand, left another couple more in the, what was it? Another couple more in hand, Arcane Blast Fireball in hand, another card in hand with Arcane Blast down, Arcane Disposition down, Spell Arcane down, and like 1 other Arcane card. Hit 2 Arcane, didn't hit the Arcane Blast, perfect. Like, okay, sweet, draw. And it was not what I needed. It was another Arcane Blast, another Erratic Bolt, and it wasn't Peaceful Union or Vanishing Sight, like anything that let me just live an extra turn, had dead on board for the following one, even through an Arcane Amulet. But low rolled, I took the safe route. I didn't go the high gamble and end up not drawing into the, keeping the Arcane Blast, both Arcane Blasts, putting the Fireball down, and taking the risk that I get rid of 2 Arcane cards with the 20% chance I miss. And then that would have won me the game because I could have had enough to go Arcane Blast, 1 game, go 1-2. But nope, took the safe route, low rolled, didn't get any of my safe cards, and then ended up losing the game, going 0-3, circled the paper, dropped for the event, and I was done. It was rough. Sadly, like I said, didn't get dropped. Round 4 happened, I got paired round 4, I wasn't even around, I went back to the hotel room. I went full tilt after this event, I went back to the hotel room, I booked my flight home. Originally I was supposed to fly home Monday night, today, but instead I went back to the hotel room, booked a flight home for Sunday morning. I said, I just need to get out of Chicago. I am not happy with the event. I'm not happy with the meta. I'm in full tilt mode at that point. Booked my flight home, walked around, talked to some people, said hi to some people. I met a whole bunch of people. I apologize to anyone who met me afterwards going 0-3 drop. I was salty. Like, I apologize. I'm usually a lot nicer to people in person, but man, I was completely clocked out after that event. And yeah, sort of how our Ascent Chicago went. It was honestly brutal. The team didn't go too bad. Bob was close into the end. He was 5-2 into the round 8. Ended up losing, going 5x drop. I mean, that was x3, which is brutal. Second, I'm going x3. Bright was x like 4 by the end of the event, and it was just an overall rough event as a whole for the team. It was. I think we had a good meta read. I think when Diana was a good call for Bright. It was a list we practiced heavily in the slimes. It was brewed literally the week of Ascent, so it's a little bit rough. And we had some low rolls versus Diana with it. Didn't work out in his favor. And then we had just some bad matchups. We tech too heavily for the slime. We really expect to see more slime in our matchups. We never got them early. We played pretty much for expecting us to dodge the first 2 rounds of bad matchups and getting into the top tables, where we're going to expect to see a lot more slime, and we just didn't get there. But yeah, that's sort of where that whole thing lies at that point. But then going into the event as a whole, if we go ahead and talk about where I'm at right now, where I'm at playing, where I'm at with everything else, we're in a weird spot. I mean, I am in a situation where I don't know what I want to do. And by that, I mean, I don't know what's next for me. This event really was really heavy on me as a whole, as I talked about before. Actually, before I get into that, story about the thumb. I said I was going to talk about it. So Thursday night comes around before I'm flying out Friday morning, like 4 a.m. I have to get up crack of dawn early to get to my flight for like 7 a.m. Wake up at 4, 2 hours early. I don't have TSA pre-check or anything like that. And I end up I'm cooking dinner, and I end up cutting down on my thumb with the knife. And I went, God damn it. Wrapped it all up, gauzed it all up. Same thing. Tried getting the bleed, it stopped bleeding. Took the gauze, hard to replace it. Still bled after that. It was like bleeding. I was like, all right, whatever, we have to make this work. Shuffling's gonna be awkward. Everything's gonna be awkward as hell going to this event. And it was awkward. It was so awkward. I get those out Friday night, take my shower before the event Saturday, and I'm sitting there trying to shuffle cards at the playtest in the group. And man, it was just hurting. I couldn't hand shuffle. I couldn't draw my cards because the way I play, the way I set up my deck is I put my deck on the left side. Even though I'm right hand dominant, I like drawing on my left, hand shuffling this way. This is how I've always played TCGs. And I couldn't really do that as much because I'm trying to draw and my thumb just slides off the cards. Like, literally, it just slides. Like, I can't get grip. It just slides off of them. And ended up being a brutal time to then do what I pretty much usually do out of habit. And then, so I end up doing that. But, yeah. Going into, like I said, future of myself in Grand Archive, I don't know what I'm going to be focused on doing. I've been trying to do content creation. I've been trying to do everything else. Content creation, we're still trying to cast. I'm working hard on that. Thanks again for TCG for letting me cast the last regionals with Tyler, aka Once in Love. It was an amazing time. And then trying to also play competitive Grand Archive has been hard. It's a lot of time split between myself trying to do those three things. I've run into an issue where I haven't been playtesting as much because of the fact that we do also have time zone difference in the team. So the time zone differences makes it a bit hard for me to practice because I usually have to go to bed by like 11 o'clock when the team's finally getting online and playing. And I've been having to not play as much. And then trying to make content is also taking away from time, as well as trying to cast and getting more casting events across the board has been making it a little bit rougher. With that being said, though, I don't know what I'm doing. I honestly contemplated retiring from Grand Archive as a competitive player. I'm still on the fence about this. I'm heavily on the fence about this. This whole ALC MRC meta was not for me. I haven't been enjoying the game as much. No fault to weebs or anything like that. It's just a personal feeling I've been having. I've been pretty much burning myself out on both ends. And doing that has really put a damper on everything I do, and it's been a grind. It honestly has been a grind. I don't know what we're going to see. I'm still debating if I'm doing Toronto. Toronto will be fresh new meta. I'll see what happens. Toronto is so far away. Unless I'm casting, I would love to go to Toronto. I'd love to go casting for it if I get casting for it. That's still sort of the goal for me. I would prefer to cast over playing. So I'm open to going to casting and doing stuff there for the game. And it's been a little, as a player, like I said, it's rough. It's rough. New meta might actually change my opinion, but it's hard to see. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get December news out of Chicago. It makes me a little bit sad. So open to know where that is, but they might still be working out the details on it, which I haven't heard announcements. So that will also determine what I'm doing till up to the end of the year. But this has been a rough season for me. I haven't won a single regional or store champion invite, which has also been putting me in this mindset lately where I haven't felt good enough to be playing the game. And because it's been over hurting as a whole for myself. And like I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't know. It's not an official quitting video, but it's sort of a soft quit video of the game. I'm still gonna be around though. I'm still gonna be making these content. I'm still gonna break down videos. I'm gonna try making more videos as a whole. I'll be making the deck tech videos I have lined up. I'm gonna start doing a market search trend analysis videos. I want to start doing more the gameplay videos where the POV and explaining my breakdowns. I know I'm slacking on the Tristan video that I had forever ago, and I apologize for that. I don't know if that's ever going to be finished, especially because about the BNR today. So there's a lot of more things I want to do, and it's more trying to figure out how I want to do them. Is lack of the better term at this point. It weighs heavily. Nox, if I quit, Nox isn't going anywhere. Noxmas is still my passion project of mine. It's something I'm really happy. I love the crew. I love the teammates. I love everyone in it. I love Bright, Bob, Zach, Clem, Azul, Ty Guy. I invited a couple others into the thing just to communicate with us. I love everything about it. I love the community as a whole. So it's going to be a hard decision to make. I don't know if you could see. I guess you can't really see. I ended up bringing the banner night mat with me to Chicago and got a bunch of community members to sign it. I should have a picture up. I'll probably put a picture in at some point or post it. Picture I posted on Discord already. I'll probably post it on Twitter at some point. But it's something that it's iffy for me, honestly. It really, really is. And I'm not sure how I want to continue. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say about that currently. I'm still, like I said, trying to do everything else. And then between my merch brand that people have been so generously buying the shirts and sleeves for, loving it. I've heard some good reviews. I gave prototypes out to 2 people, one to a person I won't name, and one to Once in Love Tyler. And I gave out a hoodie, and they said they absolutely love it. It's gas, quote unquote. And I'm happy. I'm happy people like it. So I'm hoping to continue more with that. I have plans for the continued Grand Archive merch for the game. As long as Weebs doesn't shut me down. As far as I know, they allow it because they allow fan art or the stuff and allow selling it. So cross fingers. And that continues going well. But with that being said, I'm probably going to end this video here. Like I said, I'm not sure what my future holds for me in Grand Archive. Thankfully, I am not doing Singapore. I have a whole month off of the game. I don't have much else to do for that. And then it's really just to see how I feel coming into Toronto and AMB spoilers. Oh, speaking of which, spoilers are up on Gabbery. Gabbery's going to be updated all the time with spoilers, so make sure you keep an eye on the site. That's going to be in the description below as well to keep up with the AMB spoiler season. But with that being said, I think I am going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching a little bit of the story time. If people want more story times and me going to these events and such, let me know, or breakdowns. I'm happy to do them. I'm happy to discuss them more and talk about those. I didn't break down the whole event. If you want me to break down the whole event, everything I saw there, I'm happy to do that as part of the story times as well. So just how I ended up doing the event. Well, that being said, thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone has a good one, and I hope I'll see you all around later in something else. Peace.